So David, basically what we want to do is just find out your opinion of SlammerPics. I understand you've been in the bail bonding industry for a period of time, and tell us about your experience.
Well, I've been chasing people for 32 years in the bail bond industry, and before that I was in financial, where we also had, I call it putting it out, getting it back. And you need all the help you can get. In the olden times we had to do a lot more work. Now that the computer has came in and the internet and all that, I found through a friend of mine about SlammerPics. He told me about the SlammerPic thing, and I pushed him off to my administrator, Denise Holloway, and I think they put a couple or three people on there, and before I know it, I'm sitting here one Sunday afternoon about a week or two later, and I get a phone call and saying that from a nosy neighbor saying that she picked up on the internet that I was looking for this guy and that he was in the garage. They were partying next door at her house, and she didn't like that. She, well, you know, one of those type neighbors. And it was about a mile from my house here, or my office, and so I called a couple of my guys over. We drive down there and pick up the guy. He's there, and I didn't know how she got my number. I asked her how she got my number, and she said off the internet, and I'd forgot about the SlammerPic thing. And I was talking to a friend of mine in Wilmington that had introduced me to it, and he told me that those are ones that were on the SlammerPic. And sure enough, it ended up that the guy was on the SlammerPic. And the thing he said to me when I picked him up, evidently he was really trying to hide, because he said, "You guys are good." I said, "I know that, but what makes us so good?" He said, "You found me," he said, "because there was nobody knew where I was." And I was thinking, except that nosy neighbor. I didn't tell him, I didn't divulge how I found him. And also the fact that we had his picture on SlammerPics. I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to make this job a lot easier. SlammerPics is the way to go. So we're using it and we've had other successes with it since then too.
So you've actually had more than one success?
Absolutely, yeah. I probably do as much bail bonding in Raleigh in this area as anybody, and as anybody in the state. And we don't have to chase a lot of people, because I've been here for 50 years, and if you live somewhere and I know where you might be, I just call and somebody tells me where you are. But every once in a while we have a guy like the one we got that Sunday afternoon, where a neighbor or somebody will get on that computer and find that he's being looked for. That's the main thing. That you can't get around it. It's the best way, because everybody goes to the computer now to find things. And just like if I look a telephone number up, I just Google and tell them who I want to call, and they tell me what the number is. And if I Google your name, they tell me you're on SlammerPics.
So really what you're doing is, through SlammerPics, you have the entire public at large doing...
You have everybody that's got a smartphone, everybody that's got a computer, as your bird dogs is what I call them, people that find people. You know, I don't see how anybody can get lost anymore. It's just impossible. And with programs like SlammerPic, it's a natural thing. It's just going to happen. You're going to get caught, and fast, because there's always, if you've been in jail, you're pissing off somebody somewhere all the time. And that's a fact. And I've probably bonded as many people out of jail as anybody that's walking the face of the earth in the 32 years I've been doing it.
We hope you keep doing it for another 32 years.
Well, I enjoy it. It's fun. My clients are always happy when they see me the first time.
Maybe not
the second time, maybe not. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I like it.
Well, that's great.
And I've introduced a lot of people to this business, and they're all doing good.